fun game to watch besides the two stars as well as the two stars today.
Sarah Williams wins that tip-off for the Badgers. Avery LaBarbera now starting this game off. LaBarbera passes it back to Pospisilova to Schramek. Trying to find her someone. She finds Wilkie. Takes a jump shot.
Going to call an offensive foul that time, I believe. It's going to go on Sarah Williams down low.
And so here comes Caitlin Clark, the story of the day today. Clark, who's been absolutely unreal this season so far. That's Warnock. Passes back to Clark, driving towards the basket, and there's a layup made by Caitlin Clark. Folks are going to be seeing a lot more of that one. LaBarbera for the Badgers. Passes it to Pospisilova to Schramek, back to LaBarbera. Facing some coverage from Gabby Marshall. To Wilkie now. To Schramek at the top of the key. And Brooke Schramek gets that three-pointer. So Wisconsin now 3-2 lead. But coming right back, here's Iowa. Kate Martin driving towards the basket. Passes it back to Gabby Marshall. Back to Martin. To Sinano. Back to Warnock. And Warnock with that three-pointer.
How about the offensive showing we're getting early in this game between these two teams? They got Caitlin Clark involved early, then back-to-back three-pointers. Already a fun one here at the Kohl Center.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great one to watch if you like offensive firepower. LaBarbera passes it in to Williams, facing a lot of coverage from Sinano, and Sinano steals that one away, and here comes Caitlin Clark, making her way through the entire Badgers team, but she loses that one, and that's going to be Wisconsin ball.
So right after the offensive firepower, we get a good hands play by Sinano down low for Iowa. Then coming across the other side of the floor, right back from Julie Pospisilova. Great defense as well.
So LaBarbera passes it to Wilkie. To Schramek now. Passes it across to Pospisilova. Pospisilova, who had that 32-point game against Florida State, passes it to Williams. Sarah Williams, who's been very impressive for the Badgers so far as a freshman, takes that shot, but it's rebounded by Sinano. And now, here comes Gabby Marshall. Marshall finds Kate Martin. Martin tries to make that three-pointer, but it goes off the rim. Rebounded by LaBarbera, bringing it up for the Badgers now. LaBarbera passes it back to Wilkie. Wilkie trying to find some room, but she passes it in to Williams. And Williams with a short little jumper, and it's a good one. Now the score is tied, 5-all.
That Williams versus Sinano matchup today is going to be fun to watch. Two big bodies down low in the paint.
Caitlin Clark now facing some pressure from Wilkie and Pospisilova, but oh my goodness, look at Caitlin Clark. Outmaneuver two players on the Badgers faithful, getting that layup there. Pospisilova now.
Matt, when you think of Caitlin Clark, you often think about her lights-out range, but she uses her feet well, has a lot of speed, and runs without the ball too.
And it's just max. It seems like there's no flaws in her game here early on. Interesting pass there from Pospisilova to LaBarbera. Schramek now back to Williams. Fighting against Sinano. You're right. It's going to be a matchup to watch here, Sinano and Williams. And that pass, a little bit errant from Schramek to LaBarbera, goes off the hands of LaBarbera, and now it's going to be Iowa ball.
Really skillful stuff there. She has the ball again right now.
Absolutely. Caitlin Clark passes it now to Martin. Into Sinano. Out to Marshall. And that three-point shot's no good, but just a great maneuver there from the Iowa offense. And there's Hilliard in, and a good play made there by Sydney Hilliard. Hilliard, a fan favorite who's been injured on and off here this year, but she's been great whenever she's been in. Sinano now finds Caitlin Clark. Clark trying to make something work against Schramek and Pospisilova, getting double teamed, but it leaves Gabby Marshall wide open, but that three-point shot is just short. Rebounded by LaBarbera, passes it up to Pospisilova, who takes a three-point shot of her own, and that one goes off the rim. Rebounded by Wilkie, shot is up. That one goes off the rim too, rebounded by Caitlin Clark. And here come the Hawkeyes. Clark with her first three-point shot of the game, and it is made. Absolutely drilled that one.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, not what you want to see if you're a Badgers fan early. Getting the board herself, rushing it up the floor, and then pulling up just into a three-pointer very smoothly, as that time Badgers turnover right there.
So now in for Iowa is Molly Davis. Caitlin Clark now challenging Hilliard. Passes it back. Great pass to Martin, and now a three-point shot, and it's made, and there's McKenna Warnock. Hilliard now for the Badgers. Passes it out to Pospisilova, facing a lot of press from here, but Pospisilova with the shot up. It's off the rim, rebounded by Sinano. Molly Davis passes it down to Warnock, who just had that three-pointer. And that layup is made. So McKenna Warnock having a great showing early on here for Iowa. 8 points on the day so far, 2 3-pointers, and that layup right there.
Yeah, that time that was a tough finish under the rim right there. Don't see a lot of players able to do that here in the Big Ten, so really impressive stuff from Warnock.
LaBarbera now passes it out to Schrammick. Schrammick faking out Sinano there, and it's going to be called a foul. Foul on Kate Martin for Iowa.
Came into the season ranked number 4 in the AP polls. They've dropped down a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Large part of that has to do with losses to number 3 UConn and number 12 NC State. This is a really important game for the Hawkeyes because it doesn't get much easier. They go back home to face number 8 Iowa State next week on Wednesday. So this game in Madison, all of a sudden, really vital for Iowa and the Hawkeyes.
Absolutely. Brooke Schrammick makes both of those free throws there. So now she cuts that lead for the Hawkeyes to just 6.
Wisconsin pressing here.
Interesting call there from the Badgers, but it's pretty good. Slows down the offense of Iowa there. Warnock passes it back to Davis, to Clark now. Clark signaling around the offense. Sinano sits a pick, and here comes Clark with another three-pointer, and that one's no good. Rebounded by Williams to Hilliard, but Hilliard loses that ball. Great play there by Caitlin Clark. The steal and the recovery, passes it down to Sinano. Sinano with the over-shoulder jumper, but she doesn't get it. Rebounded by Hilliard to LaBarbera. Christina Elyu now. Passes it back to LaBarbera. To Hilliard. Passes it into Williams. And Williams is able to finish.
What a finish.
Great play there by Sarah Williams, who's been so crucial for the Badgers this year as a freshman.
Look at this. Sarah Williams down low, finishing with the left through contact. That is not an easy finish. Really impressive stuff from the big woman for the Badgers here, right after Caitlin Clark made a pretty good defensive play.
That Williams free throw is good. So Wisconsin on a bit of a run here, but here comes Caitlin Clark right back using that speed, and it just does not stop from Caitlin Clark. Automatic.
Matt, how quick is she? I went down to check my notes. All of a sudden, the ball was in the hoop. That was phenomenal.
I was checking the score on my laptop, and she was just down there. Christina Elyu facing a lot of coverage here. Passes it to Hilliard. Back to Elyu. Facing some coverage from a falter. Wilkie now. Jump shot. That one's made. Maddie Wilkie with a great shot there for the Badgers. Clark passes it back to Davis. Davis tries to pass it in, but it goes off the ankle of Pospisilova.
Averaging almost 14 points per game right now and showing why.
So Clark passes that one inbounds to a falter. Back to Clark, facing some coverage from Pospisilova. And a behind-the-back pass intended for Sinano, but recovered from Williams. And here comes LaBarbera, passes it down low to Pospisilova. And we're waiting on a call here, and it looks like it's going to be off of Iowa.
We'll see if Iowa wants to challenge this call. It's certainly going to be close. Pospisilova gets that ball stripped from her as she's going up. I think she wanted a foul call at first. She's not going to get that. But either way, Badgers retain possession here. Lisa Bluter, maybe not the happiest about it in the world.
Absolutely. Coming in for Iowa is Addison O'Grady, as Sinano gets some well-deserved rest. She's been great here tonight so far. LaBarbera passes that one into Pospisilova. Short little jumper. It goes off the rim. Rebounded by Pospisilova. Out to Schrammick. To Wilkie. Wilkie with that jump shot. And it is made. Three-pointer from Maddie Wilkie. And so a great combination there for the Badgers. And it is tied up here at 17.
How about the effort from Pospisilova right there? Getting the inbound pass, misses her shot, but gets her own rebound, and then continues to control the ball movement on that side of the court. There's a foul here on this side.
They're going to call that a foul on Sarah Williams. Absolutely. Kate Martin set to pass this one in for Iowa. As on for the first time so far today for Iowa is Hannah Stolke, the freshman from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Kate Martin passes it into who else but Caitlin Clark, facing some press coverage from Maddie Wilkie. Passes it out to Stolke. Stolke trying to pass that one across to O'Grady, but it is taken away by the Badgers. Pospisilova bringing that one up to Wilkie, back to Pospisilova. Pospisilova, coverage from Stolke. Passes it down to Wilkie, what a play. And that layup is not made, and there's a fight for the ball there. Some great intensity from both Wilkie and Caitlin Clark as we take another look at this one.
Yeah, how about that pass down low? Maddie Wilkie just couldn't quite finish it, but then a good fight for the rebound. Possession arrow in Iowa's favor right there, so they're going to keep with this one.
Caitlin Clark now, once again, bringing it up for Iowa. Passes it to Stolke.
So there's going to be a foul down low on Wilkie, I believe.
So Caitlin Clark's going to be passing this one in for Iowa. And there's Kate Martin trying to get around it. Goes into the backcourt here. Some coverage from LU. Passes it over to Marshall. Marshall trying to figure out what she's going to do. Passes it to Stolke. Back to Clark. Clark with a shot from the logo, and it is made. Caitlin Clark. It's unreal, Max.
It really is. 2 for 3 from behind the arc after that deep three-pointer from Caitlin Clark.
LaBarbera to Schramek. Schramek driving forward. That layup's no good. Rebounded by Caitlin Clark and showing that speed against Pospisilova. Clark passes it out to Martin, to Stolke down low, and Stolke finishes for Iowa.
How about that maturity from Caitlin Clark, too, that time? You could tell she wanted to pull up from 3, but saw the wide-open teammate, decided to make the pass and said, this is the development in Iowa that they're looking for in Caitlin Clark before she makes a trip to the WNBA.
Absolutely. LaBarbera passes it to Wilkie. Back to Pospisilova. Pospisilova with the three-pointer, but it goes off the rim. Rebounded by Caitlin Clark, showing that speed right now. Outweaving LU, and Wilkie takes that three-point shot, but it goes off the rim. Rebounded by Stolke to Marshall to Kate Martin, who's at the top of the key. That one goes off the rim. Rebounded by O'Grady, but it goes off of her leg.
Good effort that time from the Badgers in order to get the rebound and get the ball going their way. Look, Caitlin Clark's going to do her thing today. If you're Marissa Mosley and squad, you've already seen some double teams come their way. You just got to figure out an answer for that fast transition transition O that Caitlin Clark leads.
Absolutely. Hilliard with the ball now, facing some coverage from Warnock. Passes it to LaBarbera, but there's a bit of a fumble on that one. But it's taken away by Hilliard, and here's a shot up by Schramek, just short, rebounded by Hilliard. Shot is up, and it's going to be an end one. Sydney Hilliard with a massive pop from the Wisconsin crowd is going to get an and one here.
How about this from Sydney Hilliard? So the shot misses, but Hilliard's right there for the rebound, faces a body or two, and finally gets the and one opportunity. Only a 16% free throw shooter, though, is Hilliard, so this should be interesting.
And that one's made. So good free throw there by Sydney Hilliard. In for the Badgers is Sonia Copeland, the freshman from Kansas City. As here's Warnock going to pass this one in, but there's going to be some press coverage here playing up by the Badgers. Pass it in to Caitlin Clark, back to Warnock, back to Clark. Clark being pressed by LU and by Hilliard. She's being double teamed here, but that leaves Warnock open to shoot that three-pointer, and that one banks in perfectly. So a three-pointer there by McKenna Warnock. Hilliard now. Passes it out to Copeland, out to LU. And that's no good. LaBarbera now starting off the second quarter for the Badgers. Some coverage from Gabby Marshall. Passes it over to Pospisilova. Maybe thinking about that three-point shot, but she takes a little jumper. And it's going to be a foul on Kate Martin.
0 for 4 in that first quarter. Still looking for her first points of the game.
And after such a dominant showing last game, you have to imagine that she's going to perform soon, as here's her first points of the day.
Well, you're absolutely right, but really, a lot of that dominance in the last game came in the fourth quarter for Pospisilova, so we'll see if she turns it up late again in this one.
Shots made by Pospisilova, but there's Caitlin Clark, and what a play by Caitlin Clark. Doesn't go the way she wants it to, but taking that ball that was rolling out of bounds and hitting it back in, intended for Sinano. Now Pospisilova. Passes it out to Schramek, to Pospisilova. Maybe thinking about that three-pointer again, but driving towards the basket, and that layup's no good, short. Rebounds made by Falter as that ball comes towards the commentary desk here. Maybe looking for us to get involved in the game a little bit, Max.
Yeah, maybe. You're absolutely right. But how about that defense from Warnock on Pospisilova that time, just staying with her step for step and getting a hand up right next to the rim as well.
Absolutely. LaBarbara now. Some coverage from Marshall. Passes it to Hilliard. To Wilkie. Passes it to Pospisilova. To Schramek. To Pospisilova. Takes that shot, and that three-pointer is no good. Rebounded from Caitlin Clark, and that's going to be a foul on Maddie Wilkie. Absolutely. Marshall passing it in to Caitlin Clark. And an interesting stat that I just noticed here, Max. Of the 25 points for Iowa, 23 of them are by just 2 players.
Yeah, absolutely. Warnock has really impressed so far this game.
And there's Sinano with her first points of the day.
Warnock a perfect 4 for 4 from the field alongside a great Caitlin Clark, of course.
Absolutely. Pospisilova passes it back to LaBarbara, facing some coverage from Gabby Marshall. Pass it in to Schramek. Pass it across to Pospisilova. Pospisilova thinking about driving forward, and she does, but she passes it back to Schramek, to Copeland, who is wide at the three-point line. Pass a little bit high for LaBarbara, and that shot goes wide right of the net. So it's going to be Hawkeye ball.
Looked like the Badgers might have had an opportunity there. Matt passed up a wide-open shot with the shot clock running down a little bit. So a little bit of just 2 passing, not enough trigger pulling yet for Wisconsin.
Absolutely. Caitlin Clark now. Passes it across to Falter, to Marshall, who sets a little bit of a roll pass there to Sinano, and they're going to call that one a foul on, it's going to be Schramek or Pospisilova.
Double hurts. A lot of moving around for this Badgers D, but it's necessary when it's a team as lethal as Iowa.
Clark passes it across to Warnock, who passes it to Marshall. Marshall driving forward, passes it, and it just goes out of bounds.
That's going to be a blocking foul that time, I think on Schramek. We'll take a look at it once again. Yeah, Schramek just didn't set her feet that time around. Tried to contest the shot from Marshall, but ended up fouling her. So unlucky break that right there as Marshall's going to get 2 at the line.
Absolutely. Marshall looked a little bit banged up, but looks like she's shaking it off by now. As looking to come in for the Badgers is Lily Cron, the freshman from Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, who's a fan favorite here at the Kohl Center. Marshall shot up, and that first foul shot is made.
It'll be interesting to see what type of production the Badgers can get from Cron as well. Only 2 for 4 from the field so far this entire season long. Hasn't had a whole lot of playing time. Should see more with some injuries for the Badgers too, though.
Absolutely. Hilliard now facing some coverage here. Pass it to LaBarbara. Looking for Pospisilova. Pass across intended for Cron, but it just hits one of the kids sitting on court side. And that kid does not look happy right now. So the ref's going over to apologize right now.
Hey, happens to the best of us. Still pretty nice seats for a great game between 2 great teams in the Big Ten today.
Absolutely. Caitlin Clark now driving forward, jump shot, and it's in. I mean, she's automatic. We don't even need to say if it's in or not at this point when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, make her now, 6 for 8 from the field today. That's pretty impressive stuff early on.
And there's a great steal there. Here's Gabby Marshall using that speed to lay up, and that layup is in.
We'll talk more on her later.
Absolutely. Hilliard now facing some coverage from a Falter. Pass to Schramek to LaBarbara. LaBarbara driving forward, that jump shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Sinano, and Sinano's been great getting those rebounds tonight for Iowa. Marshall passes it across to Davis, to Sydney Falter, to Sinano down low, and Sinano makes that layup. And so something interesting is for the first time today, Caitlin Clark is not in the game for the Hawkeyes. They're going to rest her up a little bit right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it seems like the Iowa Hawkeyes are trying to emphasize ball movement when she's not in there and find their big woman in Sonano down low.
Absolutely. Hilliard now facing some coverage from McKenna Warnock. Maybe Pospisilova looking for a screen there, but she couldn't get it. Over the last minute 27, well, now it's a 10-0 run over the last 2 minutes.
And 4 turnovers for the Badgers in the last 4 minutes just about. So right now, Badgers making some simple mistakes, but the Iowa defense suffocating.
Marshall facing some press. Pass to Warnock. Passes it out to Afalter, and Afalter may be looking for a three-pointer, but passes it down low to Sonano, and there she is again. Monica Sonano having herself a great day so far.
3 for 4 from the floor now for Sonano, and she's finding some good space down low without Sarah Williams in.
Pospisilova passes it down low to LaBarbera, but they're going to call a foul here on Sonano.
Get another look at this right here. Sonano just a little bit too much
or it wasn't Sonano, it was actually Davis.
You're right, yeah, Davis with a little too much contact down there. So now LaBarbera's going to get a chance to shoot 2 from the line.
LaBarbera's first shot goes in, and that point was desperately needed for Wisconsin. As we await the second shot here. That one also goes in, so 2 for 2 here for Avery LaBarbera.
She's played a big role for this Badgers team so far this season. The grad student transfer from Holy Cross, just averaging right around 10 points per game for the Badgers, one of their more prolific scorers on this team.
Absolutely, the Westchester County native, just like us, up the road in Harrison, New York. Sonano passes that one across to Gabby Marshall. Jump shots up. It's no good. They're going to call that one a foul.
This Iowa offense just continues to roll, doesn't it, Matt?
Absolutely, it just does not stop. It's frenetic, it's fast, it's hard to play against here. Gabby Marshall with these foul shots. That first one does not go in.
For Gabby Marshall, too. Only her 3rd and 4th free throws of the year. She's now 2 for 4 on the season.
And so Marshall is looking like she's coming off now, as here comes back Caitlin Clark. Ronnie Porter in for the Badgers now. She's been pretty impressive this year. The 5'4" freshman from St. Paul, Minnesota, really knows how to spread the ball around on the court. Pospisilova now trying to out-juke McKenna Warnock, but she can't get it. Rebounded by Davis, and who else but Caitlin Clark now. Facing some coverage from Wilkie. She's able to do a swing-around shot, and that one's rebounded by Afalter. Layup up, and that's an end one for Sydney Afalter. And boy, would Sydney Hilliard like to have that foul back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sydney Afalter, not off to a greatest start this season, the sophomore from Chicago, Illinois, but you wouldn't know it from right there. First, Caitlin Clark tries to make a dazzling move, but right there for the rebound was Afalter. Goes up strong with it. Nice job from the sophomore right there.
So Afalter's shot is in, and so that's going to widen the lead for Iowa. And so Wisconsin's got to put some points up here. LaBarbera now facing some coverage from Sydney Afalter, who just got that foul and one. Porter facing some coverage from Davis. Passes back to Schramek, to Porter, to Pospisilova, to LaBarbera, to Pospisilova in some free space. Shot is up, but it's rebounded by Caitlin Clark. Pospisilova not able to convert any of those three-point shots early on here at the Kohl Center.
Pospisilova, yeah, really struggling to get it going now. 0 for 8 from the floor to start this game.
And that's an absolutely ridiculous pass cross-court by Caitlin Clark to Warnock, and a three-point shot up, and it's made. Molly Davis, senior from Midland, Michigan, with a nice three-point shot there.
How about the Iowa Hawkeyes as a team shooting 50% from behind the arc to start off this game?
Great gadget play there, but Maddie Wilkie's not able to put that one in. Stolke trying to figure out who to pass to. She gets it to Caitlin Clark. Clark driving through the entire Badgers team, and that's going to be a foul on Julie Pospisilova.
These are two pretty good defensive teams in the Big Ten this year, but right now Iowa's offense is just rolling along as Caitlin Clark gets that foul right there. She'll get 2 at the line. Take a look at this right now, man. Iowa's shooting 68% from the field. We just mentioned 50% from behind the arc. It's a hard offense to stop.
It's almost borderline impossible here, as it looks like Lily Cron is going to come back on for the Badgers. So here comes back Cron. And off goes Ronnie Porter.
Right now a 21-2 run for Iowa over the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
And so something interesting, Max, that's saying the monitor. It does look like Julie Pospisilova thought she was coming off there, maybe to get a rest. She's played all the minutes so far in this matchup early on. So could some fatigue be getting to Julie P? Maddie Wilkie passes it to Schramek. Passes it back to LaBarbera. LaBarbera facing some coverage from McKenna Warnock. Passes it out to Cron in space. Lily Cron with the shot up, and Lily Cron makes the three-pointer. And my goodness, the cheer from the Cole Center. They love Lily Cron here. Caitlin Clark passes it back to Warnock. Trying to direct some traffic here. Gets it to a falter in the corner. To Davis. To Clark. Clark trying to make something happen here. Pick set by Stolke. Pass back to Stolke. And it's going to be a foul on Brooke Schramek. And Marissa Mosley, the coach for the Badgers, is not happy at Schramek after that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We just saw her saying a few choice words to some of her players on the floor. This team's just been struggling on defense a little bit, not getting to loose balls. Iowa really just outspeeding the Badgers right now and continuing to do so.
Absolutely. Stolke's first foul shot goes off the back of the rim. No good. Second shot is in.
It's just continuing a really great offensive push for the Hawkeyes right now. They're now 7 for 9 as a team from the free throw stripe as well. Marissa Mosley just looking for any answers right now to slow down this Hawkeye offense.
Mosley looks like she's shaking her head in disbelief right now, and it's really just, it's not just frustration on her home team, but it's just Caitlin Clark is so hard to stop in this offense for Iowa. They're going to call that one a foul.
And it's not just Caitlin Clark, too, when you look at this Iowa offense. They're 4th in the Big Ten in points per game. They're also 2nd in turnovers per game. They do not let other teams get to a lot of loose balls, so it's a stingy offense to try to go up against.
Absolutely. LaBarbera passes it out to Hilliard, to Cron, who just made that three-pointer, into Schramek. And Brooke Schramek, and that's going to be a foul on Sinano. So here comes some opportunities for Brooke Schramek. 2 shots awarded.
That's a tough matchup for Brooke Schramek right there, going up against a bigger-bodied Sinano, but she does her best, uses her shoulder, try to get some space, and eventually Sinano doesn't give up, but gives up the foul.
So that first shot is in for Brooke Schramek. Some points desperately needed for the Badgers, trying to recover from that 20-point deficit here.
Only 17 fouls for Iowa, too. No one in foul trouble yet. They're playing a very clean defensive game.
Stolke looking to inbound this one, passing it to Davis. Davis, the shortest player on this offense for Iowa, passes it to Caitlin Clark. Back to Davis. Davis, and a great play made by Lily Cron, trying to get that one out, but Falter is able to recover. Passes it back to Davis. Davis trying to dribble forward, passes it across, and here comes Caitlin Clark, and Clark going up, but that's going to be a foul on Avery LaBarbera.
We mentioned it earlier, Matt. Caitlin Clark, really known for her lights-out shooting, but a lot similar to Steph Curry of the NBA. She moves a ton without the ball. She's always looking for cutting lanes, always looking for her teammates to dish her the ball. They do so right there, and she's going to get another chance at 2 points.
And as if we had to tell anyone, it's in. Caitlin Clark.
6 for 9 on the day for Clark today. 6 rebounds. Really impressive stuff for her as well. Just an all-out effort from the star player for Iowa.
Clark is now 4 for 4 on those free throws, 2 for 4 on those three-pointers, and 6 of 9 from the field. LaBarbera now taking this ball up for the Badgers, trying to answer. They're still in a 20-point deficit here, trying to make something happen. Passes it to Hilliard. Pass it across to Cron. Cron trying to get a shot up, but she can't really get it with a falter around her so much. Schramek passes it into LaBarbera. LaBarbera looking for something, and that shot is up, but it's no good. Banks off the back. And here comes Caitlin Clark rebounding that one. Maybe thinking about a shot there, but passes it down. And there's Sharon Goodman. Sharon Goodman in for the first time today. The redshirt sophomore from Lime Springs, Iowa. Hilliard now driving towards the basket. Shot goes up, but it goes backwards, and it's rebounded by Stolke.
Don't know if that one was blocked by Caitlin Clark or not. If it wasn't, it was just an awkward angle for a shot then.
Absolutely. Marshall passes it in for Goodman, trying to get her second point of the day, and she doesn't get it.
Looks like that one's going to stay Iowa ball too, so that last shot must have been blocked by a Badger down low.
Absolutely. So Caitlin Clark set to pass this one in. Passes it down low for Goodman, and Goodman gets that one. So that's 2 straight points there for Sharon Goodman.
It's a great play design from Iowa right there, too, using Hannah Stelke to just set the screen and allow some other players like Sharon Goodman to get wide open down below. Really trying to turn this program around, but struggling to find some answers today against a dominant Iowa offense.
Absolutely, and it'd be a challenge for any coach, much less a second-year coach in the Big Ten. Here's Cron with another three-point shot, and it's in. So Lily Cron with her second three-pointer of the day.
And Lily Cron now 3 for 3 on the season from behind the arc, providing a little spark for the Badgers.
Marshall passes that one to Stolke, facing some coverage from Pospisilova. Passes that one across to Davis, who was maybe looking for a three-pointer. Fakes out a few Badgers, and you're absolutely right there. Molly Davis making that one.
How about the fake pass from Molly Davis? Slicing and dicing out there in the court.
Absolutely. Schramek now passes it to Cron. Cron maybe looking for something, but she can't get it. Passes it to Brooke Schramek, but she loses that one. So a falter. Passes it to Marshall. And Marshall driving towards the net, weaving her way through the entire Badgers defense. So Gabby Marshall there making a layup. Hilliard for the Badgers has the ball, passes it to LaBarbera. There's 40 seconds left. Schramek looking for Pospisilova. She's maybe going to look for something before this half ends.
How about Gabby Marshall for Iowa on the other side of the floor, though, using her speed in transition.
And so we're going to get 2 foul shots awarded, or 2 free throws, sorry, for Julie Pospisilova.
How about a 57-plus point half for Iowa? That is some unheard of numbers here in NCAA women's basketball.
And there's a point for Pospisilova. Only her 3rd point of the day, Max.
All of which, if I'm not mistaken, are coming off of free throws, too.
Absolutely. And there's a 4th. So absolutely going into the second half, one of the narratives that has to be there for the Badgers is Pospisilova maybe figuring out what's going on as she comes off for her first rest of the day. It's well-deserved for her.
Badgers as a team only shooting 32% from the floor in this first half.
Molly Davis, it looks like she's going to try to dribble out this half. Or maybe not, as there's a pass to Goodman, to Warnock. Warnock with that shot up, and that goes wide of the net.
Really, the 6 for 13 from Iowa from behind the arc is something that stands out, as well as 10 turnovers from the Badgers so far early.
So Caitlin Clark passes that one to Kate Martin. Back to Clark, and Clark with a deep 3, but that one's no good. Rebounded by Schramek. And how often do we say Caitlin Clark no good on the three-point line?
Yeah, not very often, that's for sure, Matt.
Pospisilova passes that one to Wilkie. Pospisilova looking for a better second half than her first. LaBarbera passes it back to Wilkie to Pospisilova. Pick set by Williams. Back into Williams. Working against Sinano, and that one goes in. So a good play there by the freshman. You know, the Wisconsin women's basketball team's been very excited for Sarah Williams from the way she's shown so far this year. Warnock's three-point shot goes off the rim, rebounded by Wilkie.
See the Badgers push the pace here a little bit. Williams got in a little bit of foul trouble in that first quarter. Now she's back here in the second half.
Schramek passes it down low to Pospisilova, and that one's no good, so that one goes under the basket. Martin facing some coverage from Pospisilova to Marshall. Back to Sinano, who's at the top of the key. Passes it out to Warnock. Warnock, who had a great first half. Pass out, intended for Kate Martin. That one goes into the crowd.
Like the idea that time from Iowa, put Sonano at the top of the key, clear out some space in the middle of the floor, and let some of your bigger guards work down low. Just couldn't get that pass to connect last time, but a good idea from the Hawkeyes.
Absolutely. Schrammick now. Passes it back to LaBarbera, intended for LaBarbera. A good defensive play there by Gabby Marshall, but LaBarbera gets it back to Wilkie, to Pospisilova. Pospisilova looking for something here. Passes it to Williams. And a layup up, and there's going to be an end one. And the Badgers faithful loves that one from Sarah Williams, the freshman from Brooklyn, New York.
Sarah Williams just so strong down low in the paint, working up, gets an equally big Sonano right there, makes a couple moves, fakes to her right, and then eventually, or fakes to her left, excuse me, then eventually goes to her right. Just a strong move there from the veteran in Williams.
Absolutely, and on comes Sharon Goodman for Sonano, who's going to get some rest here. And that shot's in. So that free throw's good for Sarah Williams. But here comes Caitlin Clark. Facing some coverage from Wilkie. Floats that one to Goodman, who gets it. Some heavy coverage there from Sarah Williams. Kate Martin now passes it to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark trying to make something happen. Dribbling by.
Caitlin Clark getting called for travel that time around. Took just one too many steps to see he was trying to get into the post. She's got so much speed, sometimes it's even hard for her to control.
LaBarbera facing some coverage from Gabby Marshall. Pass to Pospisilova to Williams down low, but she loses that one, but recovered by LaBarbera. Great play by her. Maddie Wilkie passes it to Pospisilova. Pospisilova dribbling in. Pass out to Wilkie, to LaBarbera. And a great offensive maneuver for the Badgers, but it ends in no points, and the Badgers have to put that one together next time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can see the strategy coming out in the second half, though, for Wisconsin. Get the ball down low in the paint. Try to use a little bit of your size advantage with your forwards.
So Caitlin Clark with that layup. And I believe that's her first points of the second half here.
Yeah, it was. Now 20 points even on the game for Caitlin Clark.
LaBarbera facing some coverage from Marshall. Passes it to Schrammick. To Williams down low, and Williams with the layup, but it gets downed by Caitlin Clark. And here comes Caitlin Clark showing that speed. Oh, behind the back dribble. Pass out to Warnock a little bit short. You could see what they were looking for. And they're going to call that one a foul on Brooke Schrammick.
I believe that one's going to be called on the floor as well, so no shots for Iowa that time around. But you're exactly right. I mean, take a look at this move from Caitlin Clark. Full speed ahead, able to get it behind her back, get past the defender. Almost worked out for a bucket for Iowa. Just a quick foul coming earlier.
So Caitlin Clark's going to pass this one in. Some Hawkeyes are trying to get separation. She finally gets it over to Kate Martin. Back to Clark. Clark working against Pospisilova now. Passes it out to Marshall, but it's a little bit short again.
Calling an offensive foul on that one. On Caitlin Clark.
And Clark's not happy with that. Clark is arguing with the referee there, shaking her head in disbelief.
Badgers might have caught a little bit of a break here, down 20 points. If you're Marissa Mosley, what do you call right here to start giving your team a little bit more momentum?
LaBarbera passes it back to Williams, maybe looking for that jumper, and she does. You don't really see a lot of range shots from Sarah Williams, but she gets one there, and she doesn't get it in, though.
I think there was a foul on that play, too. They're going to call that on Sydney Hilliard on the push underneath the boards there.
Marshall passes it to Caitlin Clark. Clark pass to Warnock. Back to Clark. Shoots that one up, but it's no good. Rebounded by the Badgers.
I think that one went out of bounds. It's going to stay Iowa's ball, it looks like. Clark looking for the give and go on that last possession. Was calling for the ball numerous times down low in the post. Almost got to fall.
So Clark with a long pass over to Kate Martin. Facing some coverage here from Sydney Hilliard. Pass over to Molly Davis, who's in for the first time in the second half. Davis passes it backwards to Kate Martin. Back to Warnock. To Stolke now. Dribbling in, and she gets that layup.
Look at that move by Stolke right there. Little mini Euro step driving into the paint, opening up some space for herself.
Hilliard driving forward, and that layup is good. So there you go, Sydney Hilliard breaking that scoring drought of 2 minutes and 19 seconds for the Badgers. But here comes right back Hannah Stolke. That shot up, but it's rebounded by LaBarbera. Trying to figure something out. Pass down to Williams, and Williams, who's been so good with what I'd like to call a Hail Mary shot. They like to pass it deep to her when she's sitting under the basket, but that's going to be a foul when she goes up, and she's going to get some foul shots here.
Looks like Mosey's going to counteract some of those changes too, I believe.
Off comes Wilkie, on comes Cron, a cheer from the crowd. Prairie du Chien native back on the court. And there's a shot made by Sarah Williams. Williams is now 3 of 3 on the day so far for those free throws. And now she's 4 of 4. So Sarah Williams, who's had a really good day so far with free throws and shooting from the court.
And she's been the next best player all year behind Pospisilova.
Oh my goodness, Caitlin Clark. You just cannot block that. Using that speed on that gadget right there. LaBarbera to Pospisilova to Hilliard, being covered by Caitlin Clark. Back to LaBarbera at the top of the key, facing some coverage from Davis. To Pospisilova to Williams, and Williams with a short little jumper. So Sarah Williams just putting up a lot of points for the Badgers in this second half of play during the third quarter. Clark trying to make something happen. She passes it back to Sinano, to Martin, who's at the three-point line. Driving forward, there's no coverage, and what a block there, Sarah Williams, but she loses it. Caitlin Clark passing this one in for the Hawkeyes to Sinano, to Martin. Back around to Caitlin Clark. Clark into Sinano. That's going to be a shot and a foul. It's going to be a foul on, I believe they're calling that on Sarah Williams.
And for Sarah Williams,
it's on a Lily Cron, my bad. Sorry.
Oh, excuse me there. No, Lily Cron, her first personal foul of the day. What a move by Sinano, though. Just going up strong with it, going against two teammates of the Badgers.
LaBarbera rebounds that one. Passes it into Hilliard. So there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect there. Sydney Hilliard dribbling up for that layup, but it's no good. It's going to be blocked by Kate Martin, and a deep pass in by Clark to Davis. And oh my goodness, you just can't stop Caitlin Clark, whether it be her shooting or her passing. It's unreal.
Yeah, some NFL teams would love to see Caitlin Clark in at quarterback right now with that type of pass.
Pospisilova passes it to LaBarbera. Back to Pospisilova, and there's a three-point shot up. It's no good. Once again, Julie Pospisilova still without a three-pointer on the day so far. As Caitlin Clark passes that one out, and it's a dribble out, and it looks like it's going to be Wisconsin ball.
Two very different strategies so far in the second half as well. You can tell the Badgers trying to slow down the game a little bit, get their forwards more involved, especially among the likes of Sarah Williams. And the Iowa Hawkeyes right now in transition, just pushing the pace, putting pressure on this Badgers D.
Absolutely. So Davis passes it back to Marshall. And in the corner, there's Kate Martin trying to direct some traffic here. Passes it down to Sinano, but facing a lot of coverage. Great play there. But Sinano still gets that layup. LaBarbera trying to make something happen. Passes it to Pospisilova, back to Hilliard. To Williams, but it's intended for Williams, goes off the hands of Kate Martin. Great play there by Kate Martin and Molly Davis, who's able to get that one back for the Hawkeyes. Gabby Marshall now out dribbling LaBarbera. And they're going to call that a travel, though, on her.
Yeah, sometimes a little bit of too much pace can come back and haunt the Hawkeyes like it did right there. Just a little bit of indecision forces a travel.
So Sydney Afalter comes on now for Kate Martin, who's going to get a rest. Also, Caitlin Clark not in the game anymore, taking a bit of a break here.
Noticeably as well, no Sarah Williams in the game for the Badgers right now. She's been their best player in the second half.
Absolutely, as LaBarbera is getting faced off by Marshall. Trying to find something here to Pospisilova. Passes it to Hilliard. Hilliard trying to make something happen, passes it out to Pospisilova. Marissa Mosley telling her team to spread out, get something going. And they're going to call that one a foul on McKenna Warnock.
Tell Marissa Mosley a little bit upset with Schramek right there, trying to just figure out some spacing like you mentioned, Matt.
So out goes Pospisilova. Hilliard set to pass this one in. Passes it to Sarah Williams, who's now trying to find someone to pass it to. It's a foul now on Gabby Marshall, the first personal foul for Marshall today.
Been a lot of fouls in a row here for Iowa, now 13 as a team compared to the Badgers' 14.
So 2 free throws have been awarded to Avery LaBarbera. The Harrison, New York native with her first shot, and it's good. Trying to bring back Wisconsin to even within 20 here.
That ends a scoring drought for the Badgers, too, over 2 minutes of no points for them.
So you have a lot of substitutions here for the Badgers. Ronnie Porter comes back on. Sydney Falter, great behind the back dribble, but she loses it to Schramek. Back to Sydney Hilliard, driving towards the basket, and she gets that one. Bowling over McKenna Warnock. What a play there by Sydney Hilliard. A steal again by Hilliard, keeping it in somehow, some way, but they're actually going to call that one out.
How about Sydney Hilliard with the all-star effort right there, though? Moving fast in transition, trying to get the steal off the inbound pass again. Looks like Pospisilova is going to check right back in for the Badgers, too. Wisconsin going back to this press look on defense.
Warnock, and a great play by Warnock to swing that back to Davis. Molly Davis passes out to Sydney Falter, and so much free space, but Cesano rebounds that to Warnock, who gets that shot up, blocked. Second shot is up, no good, but it's going to be a foul. And I believe that's going to be Brooke Schramek that's going to get that foul.
It's Schramek's 4th personal foul of this game, so she's officially in foul trouble now.
And Marissa Mosley is furious on the sideline. You could see her kind of gesturing to Schramek, not knowing what's going on here with Schramek with these fouls today.
And that one was a tough position for Schramek to be in. She's down low. She's guarding against a fast transition offense in Iowa. She had her feet set. She was just in the restricted area. It's unfortunate, but you got to contest the shot some way, somehow.
Warnock with that shot, and it's good. Warnock with another shot, and it's also good. So McKenna Warnock, 2 for 2 today on free throws. Ronnie Porter bringing this up for the Badgers. And a little bit of back and forth there. I like that between LaBarbera and Porter.
Good effort.
Oh, the show from Maddie Wilkie, the over-the-head layup there. Great play by her. Molly Davis now working against Ronnie Porter. And they're going to call that one a trap ball on Gabby Marshall. And Marshall not happy with that call whatsoever.
All of a sudden, the turnover battle even between the two teams. Let's take a look at the effort right there from Wilkie, just getting quick down low the court, finding a way to put the ball in the basket as well. Now the turnovers between these two teams are even. That's after Iowa only had 5 turnovers in the first half. Wisconsin had 10 in the first half.
Hilliard with a nice between-the-leg dribble. Out to Wilkie, facing some coverage from who else but Caitlin Clark. Pass back to Hilliard. And the behind-the-head layup, and the fans going crazy there for Sydney Hilliard. That was a show.
Sydney Hilliard's got a smile on her face right now, too. She has had a fantastic second half.
So Caitlin Clark passing that one in, intended for Sinano, and great play there by Sarah Williams. Wilkie passes it to LaBarbera, to Pospisilova in the corner. Pospisilova passes it out to Hilliard. Hilliard choosing to dribble forward instead of taking a risk on that three-pointer, and they're going to call that one a travel on Hilliard. And it's a little bit interesting on that one because she had a little bit of time there to potentially shoot that three-pointer.
And you can see Marissa Mosley right now saying that Hilliard got hit on the arm right there, disrupt her pattern. Mosley emphatically arguing her case to the referees.
Davis passes it in for Marshall. Back to Davis, who lets it dribble a little bit. Back to Clark, and so here's Caitlin Clark once again facing some coverage from Wilkie. Out to Marshall. Back to Clark. Clark maybe thinking about squaring up, maybe thinking about taking a shot, but she passes it down to Sonano, which is the right call because Sonano with the great bank shot in. LaBarbera facing some coverage from Marshall now. Out to Hilliard. To LaBarbera, who passes a nice pass in for Williams, but she can't make it happen, and Sonano rebounds that one.
Beautiful ball movement from the Badgers in that last possession. Just unfortunate they couldn't get the basket to fall.
Caitlin Clark shoots that one up, and it goes off the rim, and that's a rebound by LaBarbera, who takes that one fully up the court on her own.
Tough move from the veteran Avery LaBarbera right there, using the Euro to her advantage.
So there's Marshall passing it back to Caitlin Clark. Clark taking some time, trying to figure something out here, trying to direct some traffic as the time is ticking down in the end of this quarter. Shot is in for Sonano, and that'll be it. Pospisilova passing that one into Avery LaBarbera. Back to Pospisilova. To Hilliard. Picks up by Pospisilova, but Pospisilova gets it right back to Hilliard. To Wilkie. To Pospisilova down low, and there's Pospisilova up, and that's a layup made by Julie Pospisilova. That's actually her first points from the field today.
Yeah, what a big bucket for Pospisilova right there. Sometimes it only takes one to get someone rolling. We'll see if that's the case with Julie P.
Clark, pass to Sonano. Back to Warnock. And that is tipped by Pospisilova. Good play by her. And they're going to say that one was off of Kate Martin. So a great play there by the Wisconsin Badgers defense. They absolutely needed that one.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark using the screen to switch on to Pospisilova. It's the matchup the Hawkeyes wanted, but Pospisilova using those great hands to intercept that pass and make it Badger ball.
Hilliard back to Wilkie. Wilkie, top of the key, three-point shot, and it's up and made. So Maddie Wilkie's going to narrow this lead for Iowa to only 15, and they needed that. The Badgers needed that.
Yeah, Badgers field goal percentage as a team upped now to right around 41%. At least with the players on the floor, that is, excuse me.
Warnock to Martin. To Marshall. Ooh, Marshall, ooh, and that did not look good for Marshall.
Fourth.
So Clark taking it for herself there. Passes it in to Warnock, and that shot, great block there by Julie Pospisilova.
We've seen Pospisilova make some really good defensive plays as of late. Got that tip on the pass a couple possessions ago. That time around gets a block for herself as well.
Marshall driving, and a bit of a weird lob shot up there, but it's no good. Rebounded by Williams.
Yeah, that last shot from Marshall just felt a little bit rushed.
Hilliard dribbling around, passes it to Pospisilova, directing some traffic here. Passes it across to Williams, and Williams driving forward, loses that ball, and it goes out of bounds, and that's going to be costly for the Badgers.
Yeah, great feed that time from Pospisilova to Williams, but Williams just couldn't get the greatest handle on it. Would have been a risky pass, even a tougher shot.
Clark passes it in to Davis, facing some cover from Pospisilova. A lot of aggressive press here from the Badgers defense. Davis passes it back to Martin. Kate Martin looking for someone open. She has Davis in space. Oh my goodness. You could drive a car through the space that Molly Davis just had right there. A three-pointer made by the senior.
Yeah, pretty sure they used Caitlin Clark as a distraction there, moving her off ball. A bunch of Badgers went with her and left Molly Davis wide open.
Sarah Williams. Pass to Wilkie. Back to Williams. Trying to make something happen. They're going to call that one a travel on Sarah Williams.
Yeah, Sarah Williams that time trying to get down low in the paint, but was met with a couple of big bodies from Sonano and Warnock for Iowa. Good job by them. Good hands on defense.
So another press here from the Badgers. Clark passes it in to Martin, and there goes Caitlin Clark off to the races. Into Sonano, great play there. Layup made by Sonano. Caitlin Clark is doing everything today.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark to Monica Sonano, the dynamic duo of this Hawkeye offense. Just rolling right now.
Hilliard with an interesting shot up there, but it just goes off. But it's a great play there by Maddie Wilkie. Wilkie in space. Wilkie with the three-pointer.
How about Maddie Wilkie now? 3 for 4 from behind the arc for the Badgers. 13 points on the day.
Wisconsin now within 20. Clark, behind the back dribble. Beautiful. Out to the three-point line to Martin. Passes it right back in to Sonano. Sonano with that jumper off the backboard, and that's in. So Monica Sonano widening that lead for Iowa just a little bit there.
Yeah, Sonano can't miss right now. 9 for 10 from the floor, 18 points. Not really in too much foul trouble. She's having herself a day.
And a huge miscue there. Julie Pospisilova maybe thinking that Wilkie was going to take a shift there, but it just sails past her, goes out of bounds, and Marissa Mosley is not happy whatsoever with that one.
Yeah, miscommunication that time. Those are two teammates who typically work so well together for Wisconsin, so really unusual to see that happen.
Davis using that speed, bringing it up, and Kate Martin in space, maybe thinking about a three-point shot, but she doesn't do it. Caitlin Clark now working against Maddie Wilkie. Pick set by Sonano. Caitlin Clark passes it across the court to Davis. Three-point shot made by Davis. Clark not happy about the coverage from Wilkie.
Clark got smacked in the face on that last possession. No call by the referees. One was standing right there.
LaBarbera passes it in to Schramek to LaBarbera. LaBarbera in some space. Three-point shot, no good. Rebounded by Sonano. Passes it to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark driving forward. Passes it to the corner to Kate Martin. A lot of space there. And that's a three-point shot made. And there's going to be a timeout. Clark just been so dynamic today. Porter bringing it up for Wisconsin, facing some coverage from Davis. Back to Pospisilova. Pospisilova jump shot up, no good. Rebounded by Sonano, and we're just seeing a lot of, unsettling stuff from Pospisilova. She just doesn't seem really settled overall.
Looks like that time might be a travel called or an offensive foul, on the Hawkeyes that time. You're exactly right, though. Pospisilova just really a struggle-some day from the floor. 1 for 12, 1 rebound, 1 assist. She has had her hands active on defense, though, so if you're going to take some positives away, it's that even when the offense isn't rolling for the star player for Wisconsin, the defense has still been there.
Hilliard bringing this ball up for the Badgers. Cron passes it to Pospisilova to Williams to Hilliard. Trying to pass it out to Porter, but she gets knocked down. Clark past the Sonano, and here comes Caitlin Clark showing that speed. Clark working against Brooke Schramek, and there's going to be a foul. And that's going to be it, I believe, for Brooke Schramek. 5 fouls on the day.
Looks like Pospisilova is going to check back in. Yeah, Schramek's been in foul trouble for a good amount of this game. Finally gets her 5th right there. Good game for Schramek overall, though. 7 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists.
Pass in to Warnock, but she can't get that one. Rebounded by Kate Martin. They're going to do that one over. Kate Martin passes it in to Sonano. To Martin in space. Shot up. And it's a back and forth there, and it's a great play there by Taylor McCabe, the freshman from Fremont, Nebraska, who's in for the first time today for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that shot rolled around, 3 or 4 times on the rim? Good bounce that time for the Hawkeyes. When it's rolling, it's rolling.
Absolutely, that one was fun. They're going to call that one a foul on Sonano down low. That's the 4th personal foul for Sonano, so Sonano has to be a little bit careful here. Sonano going off right now. So here comes on a bunch of new shifts for the Hawkeyes. You have Shatia Wettering coming on.
It's the 3-star players for Iowa all going off. Caitlin Clark, Sonano, and Warnock.
Pospisilova. Back to LaBarbera. LaBarbera jump shot. Not good. They're going to call that one a foul, though, on Molly Davis.
Avery LaBarbera coming into this game an 83.3% free throw shooter. She's not going to get it on the shot, however.
LaBarbera looking for Pospisilova. Pospisilova facing a lot of coverage there, but a good play there by Kate Martin. Out to McCabe. McCabe pass to Stolke. That's going to be a foul right there. So a really good concept there from McCabe. Great pass under the basket. We're going to see this one again.
McCabe not with a whole lot of playing time, but senses the coverage coming over from Sarah Williams. Finds a way to make that great pass to Stelke. Taylor McCabe, not the biggest contributor in the world. Only about 33.3% field goal percentage this year, but she hasn't had a whole lot of playing time, trying to fight for more here. What seems to be a rout in Madison.
Stolke taking another foul shot here. No good. Rebounded by Sarah Williams to LaBarbera. Right now, Wisconsin, 29-point deficit. It's going to be tough for them to come back for this with 3:53 left in the game.
Only about, 4 minutes left in the game, as you said. But if you're Wisconsin right now, you're looking for positives to take into your next game against Nebraska, another Big Ten game.
And so there's going to be a foul on Stolke. So we're going to get some more foul shots from Sarah Williams. Williams 4 of 4 today from the free throw line.
Sarah Williams, typically a 2 for 3 free throw shooter, so pretty good, especially for a center.
That one's no good, so the announcer jinx comes again.
Yeah, maybe.
Williams. That one's good. Williams 5 of 6 today for the free throws. Davis taking this one up slowly, just looking to kill some clock now. Back to McCabe, back to Davis. Davis to McCabe. Passes it in to Warnock. Or not Warnock, I'm sorry. Wettering now. That's going to be a travel on Wettering.
And if you're Iowa right now, that's your 16th turnover as a team so far this game. A little bit too many to be competing at, the top 10 level that they plan to be at this season.
Absolutely. LaBarbera passes it to LU. Pass in to Williams. To Pospisilova at the top of the key, and that one's no good. So Julie Pospisilova, without a three-pointer today, 0 of 6. Last game, she made 8. Passes it in to Adiger. In the corner, there's Davis. Out to Stolke. To McCabe. McCabe with that three-point shot, and that one's no good. Rebounded by Stolke. Stolke puts that shot up. So Iowa now 94-64. They have 30 points on the Badgers.
It's 2 offensive boards on the day for Stolke as well, using her body to get some chances for the Hawkeyes.
LU being covered by Wettering. And now Pospisilova passes it in to LaBarbera. Across to Cron. Cron trying to make something happen. They're going to call that one a foul.
Nice move from Cron there. I like the idea of trying to use 2 steps that she has to get past the defender, pop up and shoot from the mid-range area. Works out to her favor, although the bucket didn't go. For the Badgers, too, a little bit of a tough way to be ending this game. There's no field goals in the last 4 minutes and 48 seconds for Wisconsin.
That first free throw is made by Lily Cron. That second one is in. Ooh, a collision down low, and that did not look good. But thankfully, both Sarah Williams and Hannah Stolke are okay.
And they're both showing some sportsmanship down there. They understand it's just a collision. It looks like both Williams and Pospisilova are going to be taking a seat maybe for the remainder of this game for Wisconsin.
2 minutes, 15 seconds left in this game. An absolute rout so far by Iowa. Davis working against Cron. Davis with a great pass out. And here is Wettering, the three-point shot, and it's made. So Shatia Wettering with the first three-pointer of the day.
How about the ball movement from Iowa? They just conduct their offense so well, have a lot of really good schemes developed by an experienced head coach.
Towers in, but it's taken away by McCabe. And McCabe using her speed, working against Cron. That layup, though, is a little bit short.
How about that get-back defense from Cron right there? Not giving up on the play despite being down a big margin late in the fourth quarter. Love to see that if you're a Badgers fan.
Absolutely. Porter passes it to LU. To Towers, who's in for the Badgers now. Back to Porter. Facing some coverage from Davis, the two shortest players on the court today. Porter trying to pass it in, but it's taken away by a Diger. Davis working against Porter to Stilke. Stilke with that layup shot, and it's good. Great play there by Stilke.
The combination of Stilke and Cesano have been phenomenal today for Iowa, using their forwards to perfection here in Madison.
And so if anything, there's a three-point shot from Christina LU. So LU making that three-pointer, but it's just going to be in vain. It's already a rout from Iowa, but Wisconsin going to do their best to make sure that Iowa don't reach that 100 piece.
Only need one more bucket.
Stilke out to Davis. Davis dribbling, working against Porter. Driving forward, out to McCabe. McCabe three-pointer, it's in. They have broken it. Iowa at 102 now, getting that 100 piece.
Big day for the Hawkeyes here in Madison, just capping off a phenomenal night for them.
And they're calling that one a foul on Davis, but look at this game so far for Iowa. 16 seconds left, Iowa 102.
Yeah, just an outstanding performance for the Hawkeyes. Now 5 players in double-digit scoring for Iowa so far today. Just a great all-around offensive game.
So that first foul shot for Ronnie Porter is good, but it's going to be in vain. It's already at the end of an absolute rout here. Second shot sails in. Molly Davis going to take her sweet time here, maybe run this whole clock out. And that looks like it's going to be it. And that's the end. Iowa destroying Wisconsin 102-71 off of an amazing triple-double effort from Caitlin Clark.